creating a discipleship strategy for our church or ministry, it's important to understand what are the minimal factors that will help us succeed. I don't know about you, but when thinking about this, it can often feel daunting, overwhelming. We kind of don't know where to start. Maybe you're in a church or ministry that's been established and change could be difficult or challenging. But today I want to share with you 3 thoughts that I think are the minimal factors for disciple making. So if we can have each one of these 3, we will be well on our way to start making disciples. The first of is time. Now, time seems kind of like a weird one to throw in, but it's actually incredibly important. And it's one of the most difficult ones for us as pastors or leaders to accept. Discipleship takes time, right? Jesus himself is the perfect picture of disciple making. And he spent 3 years in the most intimate settings, right? One-on-one relationships, small group settings, living life with people, sometimes 24/7. And it took him, spent 3 years doing it. Now, you and I are not Jesus, and we don't have the time to put in that he put in. But oftentimes in church ministry, we become frustrated with how slow it feels like disciple making takes. And I don't know about you, but it's easy to cut corners. It's easy to start measuring success, not around how many disciples are we making, but around how many people are coming to our services, how many people are giving the offering. It's easy to count nickels and noses instead of disciples. And so it's important as we're creating a strategy to make disciples that we first go into that process recognizing, understanding, and being totally okay with the fact that this will take time. There is no quick fix. There's no shortcuts. There's no program or ministry that you can just quickly add that's going to all of a sudden make discipleship. Disciple making takes time. And if you're okay with that, then you're on your way to begin to make disciples. Now, the second thing is disciple making takes people. And this kind of sounds, again, foolish and simple, but it is the reality. In order to make a disciple, you've got to have a disciple maker. I remember as a young adult pastor looking around and thinking, I don't have many mature believers who could actually go and make disciples. And sometimes that can feel stunting, right? Like, I don't have the leaders. I don't have the people to go and make disciples. Well, the good news is, in disciple making, you only need one. And if you're watching this video and you're the leader of your church, you have at least one. So the goal is to find the people on your staff, find the people in your ministry, in your church, who have the maturity level to begin to give their lives and pour their lives into other people spiritually, and have the willingness. So find those people who are willing to make the disciples, and maybe, just maybe, you're the only one. And that's okay, because remember the first point, you're ready and willing to take the time it's going to take. So first is time. The second one we know is people. We've got to find the disciple makers in our group. And the last one is intentionality. Now this is super important because the temptation is to take what we're already doing and the busyness of our church schedule and somehow just add in a discipleship ministry or program. And unfortunately, that never works in discipleship because discipleship takes intentionality. It takes focus. It means the only thing that you're doing is making disciples. It's that laser-like focus that says, this is our mission, this is what we're about, this is what we're going to do. And that doesn't mean ministries are bad, but it means everything we do, every ministry, every environment that we offer is a part of our strategy to make disciples. And what's challenging about that is we have to be willing to cut certain things that aren't. We have to be willing to assess everything, throw everything up in the air, and figure out, is this intentionally a part of our strategy? Or is it maybe something we've always done, something people love, and something people are going to hold on to? Now, this becomes challenging, of course, because change is never easy. And you as a pastor have to know how to navigate that in your own church. But it's important in order for discipleship to work that we cannot think of it as an add-on or some side project. It's got to be what we're about. We have to have laser-like focus and intentionality. So if we can start with time, people, and intentionality, we're on a good process to begin to create a strategy that's going to work. If we're unwilling to have one of these 3 things, discipleship becomes impossible.